Hey, here again. So just 15 minutes ago, I have put out the challenge video for drawing my 21st birthday banner. Just an alternative drawing. So I am back for another story time video. The Gross Game episode that I have put out this week, episode 213, The Silver Penny, is based on a true story when it comes to the scene that Brian gets excited to go to Mr. Different's concert with the silver penny, and then gets a notification and rushes to the laptop and then figures out that Mr. Different concert is postponed. And so it's crazy. It just hurts to realize all this is happening on the week of the event. It would hurt even more on the day of the event, but especially on the week of the event, it would hurt quite a lot. Obviously, this was a story that took place in March 2020 when all this SARS thing began. That's almost 2 years ago. Holy shit. So, the true story, we were planning for what we called careers fair, right? Which is actually pretty entertaining. Like, we do it for business, but we do it for fun at the same time. You get into like 6 groups and you would design a random toy. And we were set to design a toy of our own for our group and to contribute to this whole thing. And we worked on this since the beginning of January. And so we knew what it's going to be like on the day that we get there. And we just worked and worked. Especially through the documents and through the Excel spreadsheets of how to get the fundings done. And on the week of the fair, it came to the beginning of that week. And almost everything was just getting sorted. And so it looked as if we're ready to head it over. And then on the Wednesday of that week, which on the Friday would be what is careers fair, and it's funny, it would have been on March 13th 2020. It would have been on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th turned out to be the day of misery, kinda. But on that Wednesday, which was actually the 11th, that's when we got the news saying it's postponed. So March 13th 2020 turned out to be really a Friday the 13th story. Couple of days before that, we just heard that got postponed. Like, during the break time in the morning, we heard that got postponed, and they didn't even give us a clear date. And then the following week, we directly went to online classes, and it continued into the rest of the year. So after the middle of May, they had figured out that it is not possible to do the fair. But just speaking about that week, that turned out to be a big Friday the 13th story. And into lunchtime, they said that we have more time to work through this fair. And it was quite shocking. Honestly, it was quite shocking. When I first heard this, I was thinking, they're just joking around, they're just being silly, or something like that. They're just, making a scene, kind of. I didn't even believe them. But then a few more teachers have talked about it, and so it became a real true story. And then what would be Friday the 13th turned out just to be kind of a depressing normal day. Well, that's a true story about one event that I had been working so hard and for long enough that had been postponed 2 days before the event. Imagine it getting postponed on the day of the event. Have you guys ever witnessed something get postponed on the day of the event? Man, that would snap into the person's heart like a knife if any event would get postponed or canceled on the day that it's scheduled. That would be a big nightmare, and it would take like weeks to digest it all. So we get back into my story here. From the end of break time, on that Wednesday that we heard that the event got postponed, every time that I would get into class at the beginning of the lesson, the very first thing is the teacher asking us, "Hey, have you heard about the news? Careers fair got postponed." And like instantly after I come into class, that's what happened. And talked about it for over 3 minutes, and then we did the lesson like it's just a normal class. And I remember the first lesson after break that day, it was computer class. And then after that I had English, and it was pretty much the same scenario. The teacher had told us the news that the careers fair got postponed, and we had to talk over it. And it was just like that for the rest of the school day. And getting on the bus as well, that was just hard to keep up with. And even coming back home, my mom had asked me the same thing. I didn't even go to school the next day, but then I had come on Friday the 13th, on March 13th, 2020, and people were taking off the careers fair posters from the wall. It was insane. Anyway, guys, so that was my story. And so at least once or twice more I will do Gross Gang episodes that are based on something that I have witnessed in my life, either recently or even further in the past. Thank you so much for watching this, and if I don't make a video in the next 2 days, see you for Wednesday's Gross Gang episode.